plan for now. So I will also show you how to work with Python. I hope all of you have received the setup mail from Madam Sudha Madam, right? We sent a mail on how to use Anaconda Navigator, right? So let me share my screen. You also check in your system. Do you have this with you? See, Anaconda Navigator is the IDE, or it's a SDK, Software Development Kit IDE, which is a comprehensive tool, a studio. That's why Android, like Android Studio. If you go to Android Studio, you can do a lot of mobile applications. It's a studio for working with Python, working with all those things. I hope after you install Anaconda Navigator, you are able to, Ranga, please check the messages also, how they are responding. Is this all visible to you? When you open up Anaconda Navigator, are you seeing this? Can you please confirm whether you are...
Yeah, you have to show the screen, doctor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're seeing your beautiful
Thank
face. So.
Thank you.
It's again your face,
Yeah.
doctor.
No, I'm just changing my screen. Is it now seeing the presentation?
Yes. And that's the Anaconda screen navigator, ladies and gentlemen. Please make sure that you have this Anaconda Navigator.
Yeah.
This session, in most of the sessions, I'd like to also let the participants know that we will probably be coming in between as well. While doctor is talking, I might come in. While I'm talking, doctor might come in as well. So this way,
Yes.
you will get a feel that you are attending a live, in-person session. So fail to create menus. Ajmal sir, what do you mean by that? What do you mean when you say fail to create menus? There is no menu. You just go to the start button, type search, like what doctor is showing. You just type Anaconda Navigator, and you will see that green thing. Just click on that. Give it some time. Depending on the RAM you have an error in installation. Okay, Ajmal sir, we will definitely connect with you. Maybe we can connect with you one-on-one and try to solve your problem. You just follow the. Okay, great. So pretty much everybody is
installed.
Ishwar, you can use Google Colab, but Google Colab, we would be giving you an intro on Google Colab, Mr. Ishwar, but that is predominantly good for GPU use and deep learning. So if you could have Anaconda installed, we're going to show you simple code in Python, which you can execute right then and there. So this way you don't use your bandwidth. The answer to your question is yes, Mr. Ishwar, you can use Google Colab.
Yeah, you may have
an account, go in.
Yeah, sorry, Ranga. So you may have a problem if you have not selected the right bit. See, your computer system, it should be having the, if you look at your PC, my PC, so you have to look at your PC and property, and then look at the property, whether it is 64-bit or 32-bit. Okay, so based on that, even you can choose 32-bit, no problem. So maybe try to follow the link. So there is the Anaconda Navigator for Windows, right? So if you just go to that Anaconda location, so you have this Windows 10. Okay, so you don't
show them the Windows. Deepika, you have to do Windows 32. Vinay Kumar, sorry, doctor, 1 second. Vinay Kumar, this is an IDE, Vinay Kumar. Anaconda is an IDE, which will, because Python has got multiple IDEs, Spider, Jupyter Notebook. There's quite a few IDEs. So Anaconda is an particular software that sits on top of this and takes care of a lot of this installation, because otherwise, this being an open source, because we're going to cover it, this being an open source, you might actually go bonkers. It might say this is not there, that is not there. Anaconda is an all-in-one solution. So we highly recommend all of you to please follow the mail and install Anaconda.
Yeah, I'm also sharing the link in case if you did not do anything, you just take that link and then this Windows 64-bit, 32-bit. So I'm having 64-bit, and the basic compiler, what is being used is Python 3.8. In the worst case scenario, you can also download Python 3.8 compiler. Okay, download online is.
Doctor, I think it's better we not do that now.
I'm just saying, worst case scenario, if nothing works on your system, then you can at least try this. But as Ranganath said, it will be difficult because a lot of packages will be there.
Exactly.
And interactions, everything, it is going to be easy, right? So I hope all of you are having this, right? If you have this, I will quickly tell, this is a command prompt. As Mr. Ranganath said, this is a comprehensive tool, a studio. From this studio, you should be able to work with AI, machine learning, data mining program, or anything related to data analytics. For example, this one is just executing the command prompt. There's a Jupyter Lab. I always use this Jupyter Notebook, which is very interactive and very, not so much of, clumsy interfaces. It's very easy, intuitive interface. Then there's a PowerShell prompt. There's a Qt for, editing the syntax for a graphical related thing. And there's a Spider. I will be mostly using Jupyter Notebook. Mr. Ranganath will be using mostly Spider. We interchangeably use between these two. Then there is a GlueWiz for the data visualization. This is almost like a Tableau. Like whatever the Tableau software will do for the visualization, it does that. There is also Orange Mining. See, there is a free open source data mining tool called Orange. They somehow interacted that provides you the mining framework. So if you go to Google, you can find out the open source data mining. There are like top open source data mining. You will find so many data mining tools. One of that famous tool is Orange. Do you see that Orange here? So what this Anaconda does, it integrated a lot of things, including Scikit-learn, including Weka. So many apps and packages, it integrated together in one, a single place. So you don't have to worry about anything. And the R Studio is there. You can use for R programming. For simple R, instead of installing separately R, you can do with the R Studio, right? Are you clear? So you can try exploring everything. But for this workshop, for this FDP, we will be using this notebook. We will be using this Spider. Okay. For example, if you just click launch in the notebook, you will be seeing one browser. You can do it parallelly along with me. If already you are familiar, no problem. If you are not familiar, I would request you to follow my instruction. Ranganath, please check on their yes or no's.
No response yet. So, what is that? Are they able to see the screen? Is your question?
Yeah, I mean, are they able to open up this Jupyter thing? Like, say, you're able to launch this Jupyter.
Yeah, just show them. Yes, people are saying yes. Just show them slowly.
Yeah.
They have to just one more time go back. Don't have to close it.
Yeah.
Facing problem while installing has failed to create menu. Oh, people are getting errors saying that failed to create menus.
It could be due to the okay. There should be a Visual Studio.
Yeah, if you have a wrong, we will check on that error. Whoever is having that, we will check on that definitely.
Yeah, you have to launch. Like there are launch button is here. You have to click the launch. When you click the launch, it will open up this page. This is basically the Jupyter console. This is
people. 1 second, doctor. People who are getting this failed to create menus, are you on Windows 7? Because that is a known problem in Windows 7. Yeah. We'll try to guide you. Yeah, okay, perfect. We will probably try to send you a fix for that. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So now this will by default it will open up everything from your the C code, your wherever your Anaconda is installed, and from there only it will show. So basically, if you hear the folder, it will show like wherever you are trying to look at it, all folders, everything you can see. Suppose you are putting a file in your desktop, you can click the desktop. or if suppose you're putting your file in other drive or something, you can just go to your like these are all some Python codes, right? So there is a akash.py. This is a Python. So for example, now this is a simple Python code. Okay, I can take this Python code. You can download Python code from internet, or we will be giving you the Python code. So what you need to do is there are option called new. Here you can open a terminal, you can open a folder, you can open a new text file, you can open a Python 3. So this is basically Python 3.8 notebook. So we are going to create a new Python code. So you just click this Python 3. When you click it, it will open up a Python notebook. You can also open a text file, you can also open a terminal wherein you can run your Python program. So I recommend you to click Python 3. Are you able to do this? Are you able to do that? So then you can, copy the source Python code. For example, this Python code, what it is doing is, I am defining one small list, set of characters. Okay, so I will copy this code and put it in a chat window for you, so that you can just try. Okay, a simple code I'm going to copy, put it in a chat. You can simply take that, copy, and then put it in that. I'm going to do the same thing. You refer the chat window. I have sent you some small code snippet. Copy that, put it, paste it here. So what we are doing is we declared a small string array, right? So there is an array of so many characters. Program is, and then I am just going to print that from 2 to 5. Okay. So then when you are done with that, you can simply run. So now I am printing from OGR. So this is 0, 1. The index is starting with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a 8 character array. Okay, we have a 8 bits there. So the index 0 string is P, index 1 string is R, index 2 is O. So what we are asking to do is print my list 2:5. So it starts from printing from 2 to 5. This is 2, 3, 4. Okay, so O.
Sorry to interrupt you, doctor. Why did it print O? He said 2. Can you participants tell why it printed O? Shouldn't it print R? He said 2. Come on, professors, you can answer this question. We have doctors here. Think. Excellent. Bingo. See? That's it. Index starts from 0. Always remember, in Python, index starts from 0. This is a very important thing, because if you do not remember this, you will make a lot of mistakes in your program. Very good. You guys won. Brilliant.
Excellent. Yeah, are you able to do one simple Python code? Otherwise, you can just simply type print, open code, close code, hello, welcome. That you just type and print. Okay, this will ensure that you are able to make this Python works for you. Simple print it there. Yeah. Okay. So with that, excellent. With that, I'm just going to continue this, and then I'll hand over to Ranga after a few minutes, and he's going to show some of the Python code, right? So why we are choosing Python for AI and machine learning? Because it is very simple and consistent. I'll tell you, if you already C or C++ or Java, right? For writing a stack program, a simple stack program, you need to have like 25, 30 lines of code, stack of book, stack of something, right? So if I wanted to add one by one, there are two operators we do in the data structure called push and pop. Suppose I have a, like say a stack of books like this. Okay, now this green one is on the top. This one is next. Then there are 3 items in that one. Sorry, 4 items. 2, 3, 4 items are all there. If I implement the code for this in C or C++ or Java, I need 25, 30 lines minimum. For push operation, we have code. Pull operation, you have to do the code. Building the stack, printing the stack, so many things. But Python made this whole process so easy, right? Simple, way of doing it. For example, push and stack code in Python. You can just look at it. Stack code in Python. Simple stack code will be there in the Python. The Geek for Geeks is a wonderful site. So for example, this is a stack, and I can simply build a stack code. For example, simple stack. Now I am building one simple stack here. See this? Now I am creating one stack. In that stack, I am adding the first item is A, second item is B, third item is C, right? So now if I just run it, okay, now the name stack is not defined. So I have to define the stack, right? So yeah, I have to declare an initial empty stack, right? So stack, empty stack, I initialize the stack first. Okay, then I am taking the append function will push the stack, push the items into a stack, right? Now I will declare an empty stack. Initially the stack is empty. I'm appending A and B and C, right? Then finally I wanted to print that what is there in the stack, right? So I'm just printing the stack. If you run this, now we have a stack. A is the first item, B is the second item, C is the third item, right? Suppose I wanted to, pull pop. I can simply say a pop. Now I wanted to ask the question to people. Ranga, I think you can ask the question. Now, if I'm going to do this stack pop, what will happen? Which will be popped? A will be popped, or C will be popped, or B will be popped?
Clues in the stack, the word stack.
Yeah. Anybody is giving the answer?
All of them are giving C. Is that right, Professor?
Yeah, looks like it.
Oh my God, you participants are good, man. You
Excellent.
know what I'm talking about.
So, why I show a simple example how simple Python is, because it makes our life so easy, and they provide you so many packages. That's exactly what we are trying to tell here. It is, a perfect choice for a beginner, and then it is also, have extensive selection of libraries and frameworks. It is platform independence and simple. You don't have to write so many lines of code. You should know what package to use, what call you should use, and you can work in Linux, you can work in mobile, you can work in Android, Mac, and all the platform. And it is a great community, and it is popular. And Python developers, getting paid well now. The data scientists using Pythons are becoming very popular, right? So these are all some of the packages available in the Python. Okay, so Python has rich technology stack. This is stack of technology. It has, when you're talking about artificial intelligence, when you're talking about machine learning, deep learning, Mr. Ranganath was talking about computer vision. He was telling about OpenCV, right? When he was presenting in the morning, right? So when you're talking about NLP, there is NLTK, right? Computer vision, there's OpenCV. For machine learning, there's a TensorFlow, Keras, Scikit-learn. For all the data analysis, statistics, visualization, everything, you have NumPy, SciPy, Pandas, Seaborn, right? So these are all some of the popular packages. At least by end of these 5 days of FDP, you should be able to apply using NumPy and Pandas, SciPy, probably TensorFlow. Mr. Ranganath, we are going to use NLTK, or what is that package we are going to use?
Yeah, we'll be using all. We'll be using NumPy, SciPy, Pandas. We'll be using TensorFlow, Keras. We'll be using NLTK.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's one more, no, NLP you're planning to use, no, for the,
NLP, we'll be using NLTK for NLP. You can
excellent.
also show a little bit of spacey for them.
Excellent. Yeah. So all these things, we will be seeing it and you will be practicing it. You're going to import these packages and run. Okay. So with that, I wanted to Ranga to take it and then show some simple code. Once Mr. Ranga finishes it, I will explain some statistics codes in Python. Okay. Ranga, over to you. You can take the control.
Okay, doctor. Thank you.
I'll
Okay,
put the,
yes.
just give me a second. I'll put the video off.
Done.
Yeah, you can show from the other way also.
Yes, I'll do the because Spider might be. Let me check whether people can see
Yeah,
Spider.
no issues, no issues.
I'll just try to launch Spider.
Yeah.
So this way they get.
Yeah, while you're launching, I will quickly cover these things.
Yeah, please. Yeah, I think it'll take another 1 minute, so you can carry on. Keep talking.
Yeah, sure. So basically, we are going to do two things in the morning. Mr. Ranga will be showing you some basic Python codes. Then I'll be explaining the statistics. With that, we are going to end the morning session. In the afternoon, we'll have the IoT, and then we will have the codes for the searching algorithm that we'll do. So basically, if you wanted to become a successful, machine learning programmer, so as Ranga has already mentioned that you should become familiar with the linear algebra, a simple matrix, simple vector, simple scalar, how the scalar works, how the vector works, how the matrix works, right? And also you should know about some basic derivatives and gradients, right? And so that why we are talking about gradients and all, when we are going to work on some neural network, we will be applying some gradient descent. We will try to cover some basics, but still we recommend you to learn those things, right? So that is the first one. So you need to have a basic math skills are required for you to work with the Python, because Python will provide you the library. They will say mean, standard deviation, they will say derivative, but you should know what is that, right? So that basic skills in the maths, statistics is required. Then you should know some basic syntax of Python. Then you should be able to look at the library. So these are all the steps which we already explained to you. You open the Jupyter notebook, right? You can go to the documentation, you can import the library. We'll teach you all those things, right? And then you can develop some good project, you can create the project, and you can work on your own project, right? Ranga, I think you can take the control now to show the Python code.
Yes, yeah, I'm ready.
I will stop sharing now.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is my screen visible? It's loading right now. It is visible, right? So ladies and gentlemen, you can see on the screen, I'm doing at 92.81 Mbps, upload and download. So we're talking good speeds here. This is the best I have. So here's my...
Ranga, you have to talk a little louder.
Yes.
Increase your volume.
How is it now? Better?
A little bit increase.
A little bit. Okay, got a screen. Are you able to hear better?
Yeah,
better. Okay. So can you see the screen here? Are you able to see my spider?
Yes.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll try to see whether I can increase the font. Is it better, the font? I just try to increase it.
Yeah, you show them how to open the slider from the
yes.
Yeah.
So from the Anaconda screen, Doctor, you please take care of the chats, because I
sure.
Okay, sure. On the Anaconda Navigator, as you can see here, you have a command prompt where we will show you where you can go there and do all the package installations. Doctor showed you Jupyter Notebook. There is PowerShell prompt. Then there is this spider. You can see this. This is the spider part. 4.1.5 is what I have. You just click on launch. It will take a little while. It will not be as fast as the Jupyter Notebook, because the one key difference that we want to show you here is Jupyter Notebook is on the browser, what doctor showed you. This is a separate program by itself. It will launch. So as you all are aware that it needs to load the libraries, so it will take time to load. So when you click on that, you can try to click on it. While I'm doing it, it'll fire up, and you can also take a look at it. Okay, so here before I start, I'll just give you a quick introduction of what all these 4 different visual display areas are. This is where you just go to file and open a program. I already have opened up my program Python 1.training. How many other programs you open up will show up as different cards, like the file folders, how you see in Explorer. This is where you type your code. On the bottom is called as a console. This is where you will see the output. Like what you did here, you type something here. You just say on your Jupyter, you just said 1 + 1 run. It gives you the output right here underneath itself. But here, you will have to look here. This is the area where when you load some variables, it gets displayed here. This is the part on the bottom where you can type for any help. So there are a whole bunch of views that you can look at. Generally, we program in R as well as Python. Some of you might be working in MATLAB, being researchers. See there is a MATLAB layout here. When you click on this MATLAB layout, it will exactly look like how your screen looks in MATLAB. So you are used to the IDE. Because I'm used to RStudio, I always come here and I click on RStudio. It gives me the exact way how it looks in R. So it's got the variable explorer. Plots will come here. History, I can type my help, everything. Okay. So that being said, I'm going to show you how simple Python is. Okay. R is much simpler, but Python is what we're going to be covering here. We might have separate sessions specific for R as well, because R is very good at statistical computing. Python is very good at advanced computing like deep learning, Keras, and those kind of stuff, because that's where they have done a lot of research and development. Python, you don't have to be afraid. Python is not like Python. It's very, very simple, nice and easy for all of you. So just walk along with us and let's see the beauty of Python. Python works just like a calculator. 1 + 1, what do you expect? I want all of you to put your attention to the bottom of the screen. What did it give? It gave 2. I want to divide 1 by 4. Gives me 0.25. So I can do anything. I can do a mod.
Yeah, they are giving the answer.
They are giving the answer. Excellent.
Staffy has given an answer. Good job.
Pi mod 2. Okay. So I can do all kinds of operations. Right here, I want to do this. 3 + 2 into 3 + into 2 into 2. What is 4? What is the difference between 4 and 4.3, ladies and gentlemen? Can you tell me what is this called? The data type called? What is the data type 4 called? What is the data type 4.3 called? Doc, look at the responses, please.
Yeah, they're giving it integer and float.
Brilliant. So what do you think will be the answer of this? 4 + 4.3, you think it's going to be an integer or a float? What would the Python respond?
They're telling float.
Brilliant. So you guys know it. You guys are programmed in Python. Wow. It's makes things easier for us. Okay. So
I have one question, Ranga.
Yes.
There is some // you have //. So they're asking the backslash. What is the meaning of //
This one.
The backslash or //
Division.
Yeah, that's what the question they have. But I think because
division.
Yeah, modular division. Okay.
And then this double slash will give you the, yes, madam. Yes, ma'am.
Ranga sir, sorry for the interruption.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, there are so many people, those who don't know basics of Python. So let us continue with the basics first. Varun sir.
Many people know.
Many people know, but so many might not be knowing.
Yeah, we are going through the basics only, madam.
Yes, sir.
Sure, sure.
Are
Definitely.
you able to get me, sir?
Yes, yes.
Okay, sir. Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So this double slash will give the round off and falls in the previous value. So if I do this double slash, it is 1 point something. So it will go back to the previous value. So you can do an assignment. X equal to 5 will assign the value to X. And you can see that if you want to see what is there, you can either just say X, which will print the value, or you can also say print X. So both will give you the answer. And you can, as you can see, it gives you a help also when you type something.
One suggestion.
Yes. Yes, doctor.
One suggestion, Ranga. I think some of them are already using Jupyter. Some of them are already using Spider.
Okay.
So my suggestion is some may be good, some may be average, and some may not have a Python skill. So we are trying to set the equilibrium state so that everybody follow the boat. And secondly, if you are not familiar with this Spider, whatever Mr. Ranga is showing you, you can try that typing it in the Jupyter notebook also. Parallelly, you can try that in case if you are not able to use that Spider effectively. Go ahead, Ranga.
Yes, yes. Yeah, for people who are already aware of Python, please pardon us, because we want to bring everybody to speed so that when we show the code, they'll be able to at least relate what is what. Okay, so please bear with us. So you can assign a variable to the assign a number to a variable. So first rank is equal to 1 will be assigned. As you can see here, when I click on variables, you see here the name of the variable is there. What is the type, what is the size, and the value. It's being displayed on the right. Now let's take a look at a little bit on the string operations. So string operation is storing some value there. So I'm going to say courses equal to Python programming. So it is going to store courses equal to Python programming, and it says very clearly tells you it is string type. Then I'm going to also do courses 1 equal to Python programming. Can you tell me, looking at this, what is the difference between line number 29 and line number 30? Just looking at this, is there anything different? Or I'm just storing it in 2 different variables. Other than that, is there any difference? Do you notice anything? Are there any responses, sir? Doctor?
There's a lot of good singular quotes and double quotes.
That's it. Brilliant, brilliant. That's what. So you can declare a string using double quotes or single quotes. That's the point. Okay. So I'm going to call name. I'm going to say assign Ranga's computer to the laptop. If you notice here, I have given apostrophe S, Ranga's computer. You can see here. So if you want to use a single quote as an apostrophe, you better put it in the double quotes. Otherwise, you can end up in error. So let's say you have to comment. If you want to comment, make a comment, there are 2 ways to comment. One, anything that starts with a hash symbol is comment in Python, or you can also start it with 3 single quotes, end it with 3 single quotes. Please make sure you end it with 3 single quotes. Just look here. If I remove these 3 single quotes, everything underneath your code becomes a comment. It will not be executed. It will all be in green. If you can see, my entire file became green. So please be aware of that. Make sure you close the quotes. Okay. So when you close the quotes, it changed back the color. There is also another use for this. If you have a continuous string that you want to store, you can also use this 3 quotes, put a value in there, and then store it. So let's look at how to assign something to a string variable and print it. So welcome notes, hello my FDP friends. I click on it, it gets assigned to here. You can either look at the bottom of my screen or keep watching the right side. Okay, so I can, as I said, I can either say just welcome notes, it will print it. See, you can print it here. See, the only thing in Spider is this is the maximum I can show you on the bottom. This is the largest you can get. I can make this big, but not on this. Print welcome, it just says welcome. So I can also do the same thing with the print statement, which will print hello my FDP friends. Okay, now I'm going to teach you string operations. All of us are very aware that concatenation is an important part of a string operation. So if I want to concatenate hello my FDP friends, how are you? I am just going to use this plus sign, welcome notes plus how are you. So if I print it, it's going to give hello my FDP friends, how are you? Next line, I'm going to ask you all a question. Print welcome notes into 2. How many of you think this will give an output? How many of you think this will give an error? Don't worry whether you know Python or you don't know Python. This is a simple common sense question. What do you think? I'm trying to multiply a number with a string. What do you think it will be? No answer is the wrong answer, ladies and gentlemen. As long as you respond, that will make us happy, that will motivate us. Answer it. Show your participation. So this way you don't feel sleepy. Keep participating. Doctor, how is the response?
They say error may come, string is repeated, no output, 2 times.
Very good.
Repetition of.
Very good, very good. Wow. So let's see. I don't know. I'm like you also. I'm also learning Python. Let's see what it does. Abracadabra. Give me the answer. Oh my God, it's printing twice. Whoever said printing it twice?
Yeah, Ishwari Saran. And
excellent.
then
Very good. Well done. Well done. So
Guna.
For this star into will repeat it. So if you want to use this somewhere, you can multiply. See how simple Python is. These are all examples to show you how simple Python is. Now we have our beloved trainer Venkata Subramaniam. His age was 40, not anymore, but I won't tell his real age. Okay, don't ask me. I didn't tell you, you didn't hear me.
No, man, I'm 30 only, Ranga.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we are assigning, what we are doing is we are assigning trainer Venkata Subramaniam and we are giving him an age. So let's say I want to print this in a string format. I'm going to say print, I'm going to open up on a close flower braces, which means I'm going to substitute a variable here. I'm telling Python, hey buddy, I'm going to send you some information. Use that and print it here. Flower bracket is our trainer. Flower bracket is our age. Format trainer, comma age. And it is going to print you. Venkata Subramaniam is our trainer. 40 is his age. So this, if I want to change his age to 30, what should I do? Participants. If I want this to print, Venkata Subramaniam is our trainer. 30 is his age. What should I do? Answers, please. You learned it now. So I'm asking a question from what
we are thinking. Change the value of a var to age.
Where change the value of? So you're telling me if I go and change this to 30, it will print. Yeah. Are you sure? Are you sure?
That's what they're saying. Yeah, yes,
Let me see. I changed it. Let me see. It didn't print. What is it? Why it didn't print? Because I'm going to tell you a concept here. That's why I did this. It didn't print. I changed it. Python is Python.
Exactly. And they say use format. Huh? They say
no, not required. Not required. Ladies and gentlemen, Spider, Python is an interpreter. What is Python? Python is an interpreting language. I changed it. I didn't tell. Look at the value here. Age is still 40. How am I expecting it to change? I changed it here, but did I interpret it? I didn't. No, I have to. In Spider, if you are watching here, I can put the cursor, select it, or I can just put your cursor and run this. See here, run selection. I can here also press F9. When I click this, now age is equal to 30. I come back here and I printed. It's going to say Venkata Subramanian is 30 years. So please remember, Python is an interpreting language. It's not
Mr. Ranga,
yes, sir.
there are some people are given the right answer also, like say we have to execute line by line because we were
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, okay.
Swati and Ishwari.
Perfect. They are thinking. Probably Madam knows Python. She's an expert already. I think
Yeah.
the next time let Ishwari Madam take.
Ishwari, Prashant Kulkarni.
Very good. I'm happy. So now, generally, when it comes to strings, we would like to know the length. So look at how simple it is. All the commands. What's the commands? Len of trainer, saying 18 characters. Done. Okay, sir, I want to convert it to lowercase. It's like English. Trainer dot lower. Damn. Venkata Subramaniam. Trainer dot upper. It converts everything to uppercase. Now I want to capitalize. Capitalize will only capitalize the first character. See, it changed everything to lowercase, including the S. Okay, so that is basically how the string works. Now, see how beautiful and easy it is for typecasting. All of us know programming, typecasting, conversion, big deal in other programs. I want to convert a string to integer. I just say integer function of within quotes integer, it changes it to integer. If it is I want to change 5 to float, what do you think will be the output of this? Float 5 if I run this. .0. That's all. Okay. Now we're going to talk about something called as input function. So you want to take an input from the user to make some decisions. So we come here and you ask, are you interested in AI? I'm printing this. Okay. I want to get what? An input. Simple input function, input. Input. Always see this. This is called as, when you use the curly open and close brackets, it is called as function. See how simple. I'll show you. When I just didn't write here, I'm just going to type IN. See already, guys, see the prompt. It is telling, okay, you want input function or you want input with prompt. It also tells you if the prompt with argument is present, it is returned to the standard output with all the trailing new line. I just don't have to do anything. It is an auto tooltip supplied by Python. Double click it. That's all. Finished. It did it for itself. And it is also very good in autocomplete. So like here, when I go and type something, say print, right, it tells you the value. If I just did only the open quote. See, it already gave me the close quotes. Autocomplete. I'll do a double quote. It gave me the closing quotes. So this way you will never make an error. Okay. So that's how beautiful Python is. So I'm just saying input is equal to answer. Now I'm going to print this. One more thing I want you to notice. Please look at the bottom of the screen here. It is in red. This means that Python is either executing or it is expecting some input from you. So what did I say? I said answer is equal to input. It's waiting for me to enter something. See, it's blinking on the bottom. I'll say yes, I am interested, right? And I press enter. Immediately, it took this input now. I'm going to print the input. It's going to say answer what I gave is yes. Okay. Now, so far so good. All of you are able to follow. Please respond. Are you able to follow? Are you getting confidence that you can work in Python?
Yeah, a lot of yes is coming.
Okay, you guys are okay. Very good, very good. So you guys are getting confidence that you will start enjoying this class. Okay, now I'll show you indexing. Like doctor showed you those numbers printing, right? So I'm going to assign deep learning to a variable called AI course. So if I'm going to print AI course of 0, it's like the array. So what it's going to do is it's going to give me the D. Of 2 is going to give me E. -1. I can give -1, will give an error. What did it do? I showed you the answer. Can you tell me what -1 does? I want to make you guys think rather than me just telling you. I gave -1.
They say reverse.
Exactly. So -1 is not going to give you an error, or don't think it is going to go back and say, okay, D is 0, -1. So it is like a recursive loop. So it will go back to L and then give you. What is -4 going to give me? Now tell me the answer now. Now tell me, all brilliant minds. Shoot me the answer, professors, research scholars. Make us feel good. You can do this.
Ma'am, everybody.
You can do this. Doc, you.
Oh, good. Ella respond பண்றாங்க. எல்லாம் பண்றாங்க. I'm seeing it. It's good.
Mute yourself, Venkat.
நான் வந்து அவங்களுக்கு சுதா மேடம்
You need to mute yourself.
Oh, sorry.
So what is the output?
Sorry, Mr. Ranga.
What is the output for that? What do you guys expect for -4? Any responses, Venkat sir? Anybody responded? Team?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir, all have responded.
Yeah, N.
It's -4.
Any N.
It's -4. I'm asking -4. AI course -4. What would be the
R. One is saying R, a small r. N.
Come on, professors.
Krishna.
4.
Somebody say R, one person say N. Many N, some R.
Correct. Whoever said N is correct. Okay. Because somebody said R because they're thinking it starts as 0. Okay. So very good. So now we're going to also do a slicing. So here, see this. I'm going to give starting from 0 to 4. See, let's see what it prints. So it prints 0, 1, 2, 3. Very, very important. In Python, if you give this range, the number that is specified will be stopped. It will be last number before this number. So you are specifying something in an array to search something. Please be aware of that. It will not, if you want this space also to print, I have to say 5. Then only deep learning with space comes. You see this on the bottom? Otherwise it will not come. So the number -1 is the position that it will print. Okay. Also here, as you can see, this also is possible. AI -3, I'm saying print everything. Okay. From -3, starting from 1, 2, 3, print everything. This means colon followed by a space is this. If I want to start from -3 and print up to -5, I'm going to get nothing because there is nothing there. Okay. So this is how the index works. So you can play around with the indexes. So you understand the key things that you understand here is it starts with 0 and you can use minus sign and you can print specific characters using the colon within square brackets. Next, real quick, Boolean. All of us know Boolean, right? Age, true, false. Age is equal to 28, age 18. I'm just assigning. Look here. If I'm just going to say, I want to find out what is the type of this, it says Boolean. So I'm going to just say age 18 or
Ranga?
Yes.
Some of them are asking to explain that square bracket -3 again. That -3 again, one more time.
See the square bracket -3 colon. See here you get, let's do this. Simple. I'll just make this easier.
You zoom the screen. Did you stop the screen?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
You're not able to see it?
I think you have to maximize a little bit. You just focus on maximize that the spider screen. I think participants also can maximize the screen, close those chat and everything.
Is it better? Is it better? I just maxed out. How's it better?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. See here, gentlemen, just look at, ladies and gentlemen, look at, I just gave AI course -4. I got only N. What if I want the last 4 characters. That is what this colon is going to do. It's going to say, start from the last and give me all the characters. Give me all the last 4 characters. I'm using the colon. I'm going to print it. See, it's giving me NING. Starting from 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is the use of colon. So similarly, you can specifically say, okay, give me only 2 characters. See here, it's saying from 4, it will only give you NI. If I want NIN, I'll say give me 3. See this? This goes back. N. So if I just say 2 here, 1 here, it will print NIN. See this? So that is the use of it. So I can play around. I want specific characters. I can, using the square brackets and colon, I can get to it. Okay. Similar like the 0 to 4 is only going to give me deep. So if I want to specifically extract, it is like an array. This AI course, whatever it just stored, it's a string array. So I can extract. These are the ways of indexes to play around. Is it clear? Am I clear? Did I answer your question? Satisfied?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Good. Keep asking questions. So I just did a Boolean function. I'm going to check whether it is age is 18 or age is 28. I'm getting true because why am I getting true? I'm using an OR condition. Age is equal to 28 and age is equal to 18 because I have assigned a true to this. So I'm getting this. So now I'm saying not age equal to 18 and function. I'm going to get false because I'm using a NOT get. So these are all your basic NOT, OR, and. I'm sure all of you must be very familiar with it. It's simple straight. So I'm going to assign age is equal to 28, age is equal to less than 20 or greater than or equal to 20. This is all checks. So when I did it, yes, madam.
Ranga sir.
Yes, madam.
Vishali is asking repeatedly for explaining back -3 colon -5 as well.
Okay.
Repeatedly she is for.
Yes. So you tell me, Vrishali, where is 5? What is there in 5? It is giving an answer of what? It is starting from 3. So let's understand it like this. This you can easily understand. See, -3 is going to give me I, right? 1, 2, 3, I. Fine. Okay, let me just have it here so that I, right? -3 is going to give me I. I'm just saying, start from 3 and give me everything. Start from 3 and give me everything. Then here, let's start from 1. See what it does. 1. What did it do? From 3, it gave I and N. Okay. Now I say 2. Just came back. See, there's only one character it is taking. So it's giving 1, 2, 3. It's going to give nothing because it is out of the bound. So there is, when it goes to -5, there is nothing left except for the space. So that is why it's giving a returning no value. Okay, so it is out of bounds of the index. So you can also go out of bound of the index or stay within the index. So that is the use of getting these individual values. 3 minus 1 is 2, then 3 minus 2 is 1, 3 minus 3, that's it. There is nothing to, because you're going past 3 itself, right? 3 minus 3 is 0, right? So there is nothing to, there is no indexes left. So it will just not give you anything. So that is the reason why 3 minus 5 we got Even 3 minus 3 is going to give you the same thing. 3 minus 4 is going to give you the same answer. Nothing will be returned. Okay, Vishali?
Yeah, I think so. You can move on, Ranga.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's fine now. Yeah,
Okay, fine.
go ahead.
So we are checking whether age is greater than 0. So it's going to return true. Greater than 20 is true. Less than 20 is false. We can try this. We can also use not equal to operator. Equal to is like this. So you can check 5 is equal to 5. It will come back as true. Here you can see that there is no difference between an integer and a float. It just checks for the number. 5 is not equal to 5 because this is the integer number. This is a float. So, oops, sorry, I just selected that. That's one. So it's giving true. Okay. It's considering as a string. Now, P is less than or equal to R. Alphabetically, this is true. All of us know that, right? So then quickly we come into conditionals. Conditional are the if statement. Here I'm assigning A is equal to 20. I'm going to check the if condition. See, the one thing that you have to notice here, participants, is the indentation is very, very important in Python. You see this if statement, it has to start here. You don't have to worry. I'll show you how. If you write an if statement, if A is less than or equal to 18, and you press the enter, automatically it goes and puts the cursor right there. And you can see that. And you can see this colon also has to happen. I didn't do anything. I just typed if A less than or equal to 18. Right? I did not put the colon, right? I'm going to press enter. See, automatically it put that colon and it brought the if condition there. And also, if you notice on the screen, there is an X mark. Here it tells you, hey, there is a problem in the indentation. If you don't do right indentation, it will give you this error. So it will do a print, and then you can do a print. So please make sure that you follow the indentation, otherwise it will give an error. Since being an interpreter, it is right then and there, it will give you. So I'm checking if I can do one at a time, or I can select these lines of code and click this, and it will execute. See, all the code got executed. It says age is above or equal to the limit. Then I can say if A is greater than 18 and A is less than 21, you can vote or you cannot vote. So since ours is a value is between that, it's saying now I'm assigning this. This is else if. Please note here, you don't have to use the SE. It is ELIF is else if. You can do else if. I'm just saying if the age is less than 15, print school, less than 17, higher secondary, college, else it's a job seeker. So I'm printing it. So since the age is 5, it is giving me school. So if I go here and change the age to 15, it says 16, and do this, it's going to, if I run it again, it will tell I am from the, I have to go to higher secondary. Similarly, this is a while loop. All of us are very familiar with this. I equal to 1, while I is less than or equal to 10, print I equal to I plus 1. There is no end while here, just the while statement. Again, indentation is important. So it prints all the numbers 1 to 10, because I said less than or equal to. Here, please be very careful here. If you do not use the I equal to I plus 1 increment, what happens? You will go into an infinite loop. I'll show you. That's it. It will keep running. It will not stop. You have to stop it. You can either use Control C or you can press this stop button, which will see says keyboard interrupt and will stop you. Right here, I can also use a modulus function. While x is less than equal to 100, x equal to x plus 1. See, there are two ways of writing this. You can write this as x is equal to x plus 1. Also remember, spaces are not a problem in Python. You can write it like this, or you can also write it like this. Python doesn't care. Okay, x is equal to x plus 1, or you can write it as x equal x plus equal to 1. Okay, so let me run this code for you. See, it's telling me I have a indentation, wrong indentation. So I'll do this. 70 is a number that is greater than 40 and divisible by 70. So this is a for loop for I in India. What it's going to do is, see this, you have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will automatically repeat 5 times and it will print INDIA and it will stop, right? Again, indexing starts at 0. So if I say for I equal to range of 1 to 10, it will only print 9 values, right? Here, I can also give the increment. If I say 1, it will do increment of 1. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I say 2, it will give increment of 2, 1, 3, 5, 7. Okay. This also I can do. I can give a range. I can go in the reverse. 3, 2, 1. Because I gave -1 as the increment. So this is a modulus operator. All of us know this. You want to get the numbers. These are all the even numbers. Again, I'm just going to show you the odd numbers. 30, 10, 60, 90. This is string lists. Venkat showed you the list. Here, I'm going to do shopping equal to shirt, shoes, and belt. We're going to show you arrays, lists, how to do it. So I'm assigning shopping equal to shirt, shoes, and belt. For item in shopping, I want to print all the items. So it's printing shirt, shoes, and belt. What is in the first position? Printed. Shirt is there. What is last but 2? Shoes. So here, 1, 2, -2. Okay. Now, let's say if I want to see here, if I say shopping 1 of handbag, what it will do is, it will override the shoes. You can see this. Right now, I'll show you what shopping has. Shopping has shirt, shoes, and belt. If I say shopping of 1, it is going to override. Let's print it and see. Yeah, see, shoes is gone. I have handbag. Okay. So now, one more thing I want to show you. Please be very careful. I am declaring again shopping. Oh my God. I'm printing shopping. It is giving shirt, belt, shoes. I didn't do anything. What is the difference? Why did it not print handbag, but it printed belt, shoes? Responses? Can you find? It's like that, in the paper. Find the 6 differences. What is the difference? Easy answer.
They want to compile the code.
No, it's
When you are compile the code.
I won't give the same question, guys, like last time. If you notice,
you have not assigned a variable.
No, wrong. The reason you guys are thinking like PhDs. I want you to think like an LKG student. The reason I'm asking this question this way, it will stick to you, these things. Python is case sensitive. I gave you the clue. Now tell me. It's right. The answer is right in the screen. We do this, myself and Venkat, we do this all the time when we take our classes with all the bits, all the students. When I ask a question, the answer is in the right in front of you guys, ladies and gentlemen. You can take a look at it, but you need to pay attention. If you're not attentive in the class, you might not answer it. I even gave you the clue. Python is case sensitive. Shopping, capital S, shopping, lowercase.
Yeah. First in shopping, yes in uppercase.
So please be careful. Don't think I declared uppercase shopping and then you're looking proper case you declared and then you will expect it to work. Okay. Now you can also do an append to the list. You can just say shopping.append orange. So if I'm printing, see, I can either go print the shopping from here, or I can also do this. Select the shopping alone, highlight it and print. See, still it will print. So it added apples to the end of the list. What if I want to insert it before, if I say 1, orange, where do you think it will print? Now you know indexing. Now let's check whether, see, this is the shopping. If I put 1, if I say insert 1, orange, where between which 2 items orange will come? What is the response, doctor? Are we getting
third position after shirt.
After shirt. Is that the third position? After shirt is the third position. Who is saying that?
Second position. Oh, sorry.
It is what is the index number? See, they have to talk in Python terms.
Between second position after belt.
Second
between
position,
certain-
but the index is 1. So whoever has answered it is correct. So you see here. Please remember, one, you won't go in front of shirts. Always remember, people make this mistake. That's why we are repeating it all the time. And the list, you can store all types. You can store an integer, string, and a boolean. So here, print all types, it is printing it. Matrix, doctor is going to teach you about statistics and matrix and all the stuff. Declaring matrix is very simple. So rows,
you
columns.
cover matrix.
Yeah, that's fine. So you're just going to go do the, you can create a matrix of A, and then you say print 1 of 1. See, it's printing the 1 of 1 is what? Row, comma, column, right? Then 0 of 0. It's going to print 1. Okay, so let's say, show me the matrix. Print the matrix. See here. Okay. So you can also check the length of matrix. I'm going to say print matrix of I to J. This is the for statement. See here. It will just print it at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is very simple. You can create matrix arrays, vectors to scalars. Right? Now we're going to be looking at a very important thing which we will use a lot. This is called as a dictionary object. How many of you are aware about JSON files, JSON, XML files? How does it store values? JSON files, XML files, how does it store values? Answer coming, doctor?
Not really.
Okay, very simple.
No idea, sir.
No idea. Key value pair.
CSV. Yeah, go ahead.
JSON and XMLs generally store things in key value pairs. If you want to use a flower bracket and declare something, it becomes a dictionary. I'm going to declare a dictionary object employee, name Anju Mukesh, age 29, department AI. So I'm going to run this. So here you see this, it created an employee. I'm going to print it. It will print it as name value. Oops. Print it as name value pairs. You can see this. Name Anju Mukesh, age, department. So if I want to print only the department of this employee, it will just say AI. Okay. So this is a very common stuff which used a lot in programming. So again, we'll just see how to create two different arrays and zip them together to give you a name value pair. I created item, shirt, shoes, belts, quantity is 523. Okay. So you see here, if I print the items alone, I'm going to get shirts, print the quantity alone, I'm going to get quantity. So is there a way to put this together? Simple, zip. Using the zip command function, you can zip these two and you print the orders. You will see it is a zip object. So how do you see what is in there? You will use the list command, list function, and you will say print list. See, it created a value, key value pair. So two ways to do it, whether I can do a dictionary object or I can use this, right? So if I want to just specify, I can also do it like this. If I want to only see the values of the orders, I can just say print orders. If I want to only see the keys, I can just say orders.keys. Same thing. If I want to do a list, okay. So this is again the same thing. I can add an extra handbag to the same thing. How do I access the dictionary object? Is simple. I declared a dictionary object. I'm going to print it. If I want to just change the age from 25 to 28, I'll just say dictionary of age equal to 28, and you see automatically it got changed. If I want to insert a new specific dictionary, I can do that. See, dict 1. Now I will have two value pairs. Ranga, age 30, Yamaha, color black. Right? So I can also do an append for name equal to dictionary 1. See, this one will replace it. Whatever I had, Vinod age bike bullet got replaced by Ranga. See, here it was Vinod age bike. It got replaced by Ranga image black. What if you want to append? So here it is. You can go on. I think there is some issue with this. We will fix it and tell you. You can, if you want to delete the object, you can just say delete, and it will delete it. See, it's gone. Right here, tuple data set is very important, and it is used a lot. It is similar to the arrays. One thing is tuple is immutable, meaning that you cannot append to the tuple. So once you define a tuple, it's similar to an array, but you cannot add anything. So if you want to make something that you don't want to modify, you can use tuples. These are the different tuples. Tuple can take integer values. So same, all the indexing applies here. Print tuple 1 to 5. Okay, it will print all the tuples here. Same, you can check all the values, height, everything. Okay. Like we said, the Python is very good, and it's got a lot of inbuilt objects, packages. So you can just say import math. Let's say if it gives an error, what you will do is, we will show you several times, but again, you can go to that Anaconda navigator and you will type pip install math. Let's say some of these are inbuilt. So you're running a library. This is how you will import a library, right? If you want Keras, you will do this, import Keras. See, it says whatever you want, right? You want import pandas, just go import, type P, it will automatically start giving you whatever is available. See, pandas is available. So this is how you will import. So right now we are importing the math, because once the libraries has tons and tons of pre-built functions. I want to find a factorial, I don't have to go anywhere. Okay, I'll do this. Now we'll also introduce you to functions. How to do a function in Python is very simple. We'll use the def command, keyword. This is the name of your function, and these are the parameters. I'm going to call this compute, and I'm going to pass the parameters, and I'm going to return a value, or what I'm going to do is, see how beautiful it is. I'm going to execute whatever I want within the return statement itself. Square brackets, math.factorial of n, for n is 1 to n numbers. So if you want to run a function in Python, please make sure you select this and you tell the interpreter, hey, I have defined you something called as a compute. When I call it, you respond. So I'm going to tell and compute it. Bam, it gave you a factorial, right? 1, 7 of 11. All the three, it gave you factorials of 1, 7. Then I want x of 16. Want to find a square root. 4. Beautiful. This is power 2 to the power of 5. Math.power of 2 to the 2, 5 is 32. Then there is something called as calendar. And import the calendar. I want to tell me, show me the calendar for month 2021. Right? Print the calendar. See? Beautiful. You can use this in your function. If I want to find out whether it's a leap year, bam, it's false. Right? So I can do this. Now you might say, hey, sir, I don't know what is in there, sir. Calendar. You can tell me what are there different functions that I call. Don't worry. Directory calendar. These are all the different functions available underneath. You can call any one of them, right? Okay. So one more thing. Oh, I am not getting that help. Okay. So this is NumPy, as Doctor was explaining. This is a whole bunch of numerical library. I can also declare an array using a NumPy. Import array x equal to 10, 21, 21. Then I'm doing this. Again, this x into 2 is not multiplication. It is going to repeat it twice. Now I'm going to declare array and print type. So it says numpy.nd array. It's a NumPy array. Now I say print. What did it do? There is a difference. Did you guys notice? Before using NumPy array, it was just replicating it twice. When I did this, it multiplied it. Okay. So y is greater than 10. Okay. See, it is checking and giving you the values. If you want the values of that, it will give you the array. So what it did is it just checked what is in the array and says, whether y is greater than 2. If I want to skip two values, I can just put a colon colon 2, it will skip two values. I print this, see, 0, 2. See, within this array, I am just saying print everything, but skip 2 steps. Print everything, skip 3 steps. Print everything, skip 4 steps. So all using index, nothing to see 0, 3, 6, 9. 4, what it will do? It will skip 4 and it will print 8. See, 0, 4, 8. Starts from 0, skip 4, go here, skip 4, go here. Okay, so these are all the basic Python things. One more thing that we need to also tell you, probably we'll cover in the afternoon, is about how the information is stored in data frames, tables, because the key structure for data structure for Python is about storing is it in tables. So we will also show you how that is also done as a part in the afternoon while we are running the program. So that's about it for me, from me, Doctor. Calendar is a library. Your question is good. I'm just looking at your questions. There are a lot of books for Python, sir. Chandan, there are a lot of books for Python, and we just stop sharing. There are a lot of books for Python. We can suggest a couple of good books, and there are also good sites. Doctor is going to probably show you 1 or 2 sites where you can find good programs, and we'll also suggest some good easy to learn Python programming sites. Calendar is a library, Sri Lalita. Calendar is not a module, so calendar is a library. So within that, there are a lot of functions which you can call. Python complete reference by Martin C. There are million books. Okay, there are so many books. Okay, difference between, see, library and packages are same stuffy. It's in R we call it as libraries. In Python we call it as packages. Within packages these are all used synonymously. Modules, packages, libraries. People keep throwing words around, but these are all pretty much the same. So Keras, some people call it a module, some people call it a library. So there's no major difference. One thing that you need to understand is it has got a whole bunch of inbuilt functions which you can call readily and makes your application as a rapid development. We call this a RAD methodology, right? Rapid application development methodology. Python you could classify that as a RAD. So it is a framework which has got a lot of inbuilt functions, and it's an open source. People keep building it. Okay, so that's about it.
Yeah. One thing to add here. One thing to add, like say in C you have a header file. If you include the max max.h, then all the max functions are available. When you are including the string.h, all the functions are available. Similarly, when you import the package, so I'm going to show you some packages importing and what functions available. So it's like when you import the package will be loaded into your memory. So that will come into your system, your Python code. Then you should be able to call the method. In C++ and Java, we call it as an object or set of classes, right? So every class will provide a method. So this provides you a full set, and then you can call any methods by passing the inputs parameters. Yeah, good. So Ranga, can I continue for next 15-20 minutes?
I think 12:30 is the break.
Sir, before that, yes, sir, before that,
12:45.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Venkat sir.
Yeah.
Sir, before that, we do have some few questions to be answered. Before from chat, I have just made.
Yeah. I will open the mail. Yeah, I will open the mail.
Shall I just get to the questions?
That's that?
Yeah, shall I just read out the questions?
Yes, madam. Yes,
so I have just mentioned. So
Yes,
not yet answered.
Yeah, good. You can open the quiz and then we can get the answer from them. Yes.
Yeah, some few questions have not been answered. So that questions I have noted down. Quizzical said some few questions have not
Okay,
been
madam.
answered.
Yes, madam. Tell us, madam. Yes, we will try to answer it. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so first question is, what is the method called AS? It is being proposed by, asked by Vikas Dupe, sir.
I don't get that question. What is? I'm sorry, madam.
AS is being asked that what is AS?
Yes.
Before that, it's a the introduction class itself. We asked that. Okay, let me come to the next question, sir. We will ask again. Why is spider in black screen?
Oh, a spider. My spider is in white screen. You can okay.
Change the background.
You can change it. You can change it. Okay, I'll
He
show
is
them
asking that.
how to do that. I'll just share my screen. They can go to preferences and change the color. They can. I'll just show that. Okay. The spider is.
So yes, black.
Is the screen visible? Just go to tools and preferences. And you can change the color. Whatever color you want. Appearance is here, right? You can change the appearance here, sir. Interface scheme you can change. Black, white, whatever you want, you can change. Go to preferences and change the color to white. I have it as white. It is that is it. Yes, madam. Next question.
Next one, explain some more at append. Professor Sangamesh asked.
Some more about append, is it?
Append.
Append, sir.
Yeah, yes,
Append is nothing but it's like adding something to a list or array. Appending is adding to the end of it. See, as I told you, the arrays and other lists are mutable, meaning that you can append. Tuple is immutable. Appending is adding it to the existing one. So if you have some data and you are getting new data, let's say a good example is an IoT sensor. If you are getting data, you'll constantly keep getting data. If you use a tuple, you cannot update or append, but you can use the list or array. You can keep appending it. Yes, madam.
Yeah, we will show you some examples. Again, due to the time 5 days limit, we won't be able to show all the features and all the functionality. It is you to try to practice as much as possible. We just shown you how to append, either it's an integer or float or anything, how to add or how to delete. That's what we have said. You have to do a little bit, hands-on later on. Then you get it back.
Shivapriya, I will answer your question, madam. I'll answer this question and. Yes, madam. Go ahead with the next question.
Okay,
yeah, one question,
Ma'am,
you asked for the AS, right? I think I understood the question now.
Yes.
See, AS actually what is whenever we are, it's AS is a keyword in Python. I have with all the pandas. So when I'm importing that pandas, I don't call it as pandas. I wanted to call it as kandas. I wanted to call it as something, right? Or genie. So as something. So we can take anything and create a proxy. For that, we use the keyword.
Oh, okay. That as okay, madam. That okay. Import. See, let's say for example, some of the packages are very long. Keras.scikit-learn will be the package. So you have to type. See, when you see my NumPy, I use NumPy as NP. So I can just say np.array. Otherwise, I have to type numpy.array. Exactly. Oh, sorry. Oh, now I understood. Okay. Yeah. Good, great, doctor. Just 1 second, madam. This goes up. I'll just answer Shivapriya. Shivapriya, is it possible to install Keras TensorFlow? Shivapriya, I please advise you. Keras TensorFlow, do not use your machines. We will show you how to use Google Colab, because if you don't have a GPU, your Keras and TensorFlow will not work. It will crash your system. Please don't try to install. We can do pip install on Keras and run smaller programs, but never try to run deep learning programs. You can install Keras in 32-bit. The answer is that. Next question, madam.
Okay, sir. Next, Professor Steffi have asked how to display the output in matrix.
How to display? Okay, we will show you that, madam. It's a question of printing that matrix. You can do print of any variable will display that in matrix.
Yeah, to add with what Ranga says, I'm sharing my screen. See, I worked with supercomputers because when we are working with these type of intensive library, the neural networking libraries and Scikit and then different libraries when you're dealing with a lot of graphs, and you need lot of co-processor, you need lot of GPUs, you need so much of processor, you need so much of memory, you need so much of speed. So either you go with a supercomputer like NVIDIA systems, or you have to go with a cloud-based servers, right? So you can use here in the pip, as Ranga said, you can do this here. You can pip and then install, do all the things, but we don't recommend. You cannot get the better performance, especially in 32-bit. We don't recommend. So it is at least 64-bit, some 8 GB, at least like 8 CPUs are required for working with the intensive.
Okay, just doctor, can you just stop sharing? I'll just answer Steffi's madam's question on printing a matrix. It's very simple, madam. You can use NumPy. I'll just show you on the screen. I think you're asking a question how to print it like a matrix itself. Is that your question? Is my screen visible, madam? You can see here.
Yes,
I am declaring an A list of 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I can just say np.array of A list. I'm assigning this array as a matrix, and I'm just saying print array. You can see on the bottom, it is printing like a matrix. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is how you do it, madam. Okay.
Yeah, she say yes.
Okay, perfect, beautiful. And one more thing, madam, before somebody asked you the question on difference.
So one common question is there.
Yes, madam.
Difference between Spider and Jupyter. Is there a common question which is being arised?
No, there is no. It is an IDE. It's a personal choice. It is like whether you like sambar and idli, or you like pongal and sambar, or you like a roti with dal, or roti with rajma, or puriohara with tair sadam. Depending on the state you're coming from, it is a personal choice to the participants whether you like. Doctor loves Jupyter, I love Spider. Because I always wanted to become a Spider-Man since I was a child. So I thought, like, at least I'll use Spider now. Okay.
I want to get into some galaxy. I want to get into some galaxy and go away from this Earth planet. So that's why I'm.
And one other reason he likes Jupyter is the god for studies. So Guru, as per the astrology, so he's attaching himself to Jupyter. That's why he's a Guru. Next question, madam.
Okay, sir. Next one. Shall I use Google Colab instead of this?
Yes, we answered that question. We already answered that question. But using Google Colab is good. To just tell you a small analogy, using Google Colab to run this is like using a big knife to cut a small potato. So don't do that. Google Colab is for bigger things where GPU and all that stuff. You can. Answer is you can use it, but we would suggest, because it's going to take away your bandwidth. So we suggest you using a small little, and Google Colab, free Google Colab also has a lot of constraints that you cannot open more than 3 or 4 notebooks, and it will be pretty much similar to that. So you can use it, but we suggest you using Anaconda here to practice with us. When it comes to Keras and deep learning, we will tell you to go to Google Colab, and we'll also show you how to set up Google Colab.
Okay.
Ranga already compliment to be the Spider-Man in the Python world.
Who is it?
Yes, sir.
Prashant Kulkarni commented that you are the Spider-Man in the Python world.
Oh, thanks, Prashant. It's so nice of you to say that.
We will give you some good assignment, but I'm just kidding. Okay.
Any other questions, madam?
Excellent questions. Anything?
Sir, yes. Sir, Chandran have asked, can we import Python files to finite elements of us like ANSYS packages?
Yes.
Yes. ANSYS?
ANSYS.
ANSYS packages.
Yes. But you need to use the studio. See, because if you go and do it with this notebook, you may need to have this type of Jupyter Lab, where you do it in the Jupyter Lab, where it supports all the architecture and interactive. See, this Jupyter notebook and the Spider are lightweighted. So when you are dealing with those kind of things, you better go with this, so that you can start your own kernel, because you will be looking at the in-between inputs. So you can restart the kernel. It will give you your own, like the people who are doing research, when you do NS2 simulator, NS3 simulator or anything, you have your own environment. So this will provide you your own environment for starting the kernel. You can shut down the kernel. You can have more control. So we would recommend you to use this lab than the just notebook. So because you have a lot of configuration and settings, you can do a lot of things. Okay, so you can look at the the code level.
Yes.
You can go. You can use the kernel to stop for a particular thing. You can use the kernel to a different kernel. If you wanted to go with a user kernel, so that would be very good for using that.
Yeah, generally, Professor, people also use Elmer for finite analysis, finite element. I think ANSYS is a finite element software which is used in statistical analysis. ANSYS is a paid package. It is doable, sir. But people commonly in the industry, people use Elmer, which is an open source, where knowledge of Python is good, and you can. Answer is yes. Yes, madam.
Okay, sir. So then, actually, you have answered it earlier, but Professor Chandran again asked for reference book of Python for practical problems.
We will refer.
We'll do that. Okay.
Yes.
We will give you a couple of PDF. We have some. There are two references, I would say. Basically, this Geek for Geek is one, and then data science using
Geek for Geeks also, doctor. I think for the participants, I would, by the end of the session, Madam Sudha, Dr. Madam, you remind us. We will actually share the link. IBM has got a very good training for Python, and using that, actually, you can get a free certification as well. And we will share that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
I recommend this one because you have this one. I will share it in the chat window also. Okay, so this is the good place. If you go through here, it will start about starting basic of Python and what is pandas, what is NumPy, what is SciPy, what is Matplot. If people are using the Matplot and all, they can do this, and different data operations, how to deal with the Ranga was JSON file. So you can see
everything is there. Plenty of free resources available. Yeah. And I'll share that IBM thing that you can also get freely certified.
Yeah.
It's good to have a Python certification.
Okay. So any more questions, madam? I think it is 12:39. What do you want?
Yes, sir. That's actually
1:30 we'll be back.
Yeah, now we'll go for a break. When you come back, you will be covering about some of the stats. I've already started putting some codes for you. So you will be doing your own stats, and then how to represent the data correctly. Suppose some data set is given, how to do the, looking at the size of the data, looking at the mean, median, mode, standard deviation. We'll be teaching you. Then I already spoke with Mr. Balaji. So he'll be, as soon as we come back, we will have Balaji explain you the IoT. Then in the afterwards, I will take the stats depending on how it goes.
Hope the participants are enjoying the way the classes are going about. It's not a strict stand up, sit down type of a session. We want to make it interactive and friendly. Hope all of you are enjoying the way we go about the session, and should we continue the same way, or should we stick to the strict rule? Okay, thanks for the response.
I think they are all giving something. It's good. Thanks.
Go back and
they are asking, madam, Sudha ma'am, is there any?
Sir, I have posted. Attendance will be collected in the afternoon session, sir.
Evening session, yes.
Okay, cool. What time they are back, ma'am? 1:45, right?
Yes, sir. 1:30 or 1:30 will be back, sir.
Yeah, 1:30 p.m. and we will start the session sharp by 1:40. 1:40 p.m. we are going to start.
Excellent. Yeah.
Sure, sir, sure.
If you eat light or eat heavy, don't worry. We will not let you sleep. Enjoy your meal. Bye bye.
We will give you some exercise. Okay. Actually, if it's going to be the live session, we will make you dance.
Yeah, doctor does a lot of yoga. You guys missed it. Doctor, I think
Yeah,
you
anyway,
should do it.
we will still do some neck exercise and all we will do. We'll teach you some small yoga and exercise. Yeah, brain yoga.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye. Have a good one.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Oh, the afternoon
you,
session
sir.
will go till 4:15, 4:30.
4:30.
Up to 4:30 will, sir.
4:30.
Yeah, there'll be a quiz. You have to attend the quiz. Until you finish the quiz, you can go. So we'll be giving you on Google Form quiz. So
We will make you AI experts by the end of the 5th day. Don't worry.
yeah.
Travel with
Assignment
us.
will be there at the end. Okay. Thank you for being very interactive and good job, everybody. Have a wonderful lunch. We'll meet around
I need to home
1:40.
assignment.
Yes, madam.
Bye-bye.
Ishwari Saran, you have home assignments. Don't worry.
Kindly do
giving you-
home assignment they are asking.
Yes. We are going. We are going to
There is a home assignment for
Home
agriculture.
assignment prepared. Yes.
We have a big assignment. No
Your
problem.
way. Your way. You
Of
asked.
course, we are having very big assignment, no, sir?
Yeah. That is going to be, a very big home assignment.
Okay, sir.
Oh,
Yeah.
WhatsApp group, madam. Maybe
WhatsApp group probably will create. Is there? We'll create and send.
Okay, madam. Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you, sir. We had a wonderful session. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Have
you
a
so
nice
much.
lunch.
Ma'am.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah,
you, sir.
bye-bye. Yeah.
Bye, sir. Bye.